English 232. We are in week 6, and this week you guys are looking at the Harlem Renaissance, and we're going to do this for the next, I believe, 2 weeks. Yes, we're going to do this week and next week. And I'll probably go ahead and open up next week as well, because you guys are going to be doing a mini writing assignment. It's not as in-depth as the paper you just wrote, but it is another short essay writing assignment about this particular time period. So it's not about, like, tying in Langston Hughes's poem, because obviously you're going to talk about him anyway when you talk about the Harlem Renaissance, but more about just the literature of this time period. So I'll probably go ahead and leave this week and next week open, and this will be the video that suffices for both weeks. So I'm not gonna go through the background with you or things like that. I do expect you guys to read your brief guide to Harlem Renaissance from the poets.org webpage. I want you to watch or read about Langston Hughes. I want you to watch the video about Langston Hughes, and then I want you to read some of Hughes's poetry, okay? So for the discussion forum, you guys are going to choose one of the 2 questions, so you won't do both. Choose one of the 2 questions, post your initial reply by Friday, and respond to 2 peers by Sunday, as usual. We are only talking about the poetry here, so I don't want you guys to write in your initial response the background information about Langston Hughes. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you guys to be reading and analyzing poetry, so make sure that you're doing that. And then for next week, you guys will have one piece of reading, which is How It Feels to Be Colored Me by Zora Neale Hurston, who was also a writer during the Harlem Renaissance. She wrote Their Eyes Were Watching God, which is one of my favorite novels. It's fantastic. We don't have time to read the whole novel for the purposes of this course, but I highly suggest that if you get a chance to read it, or there's even a film version of it. It does not follow the book completely, but the film is really good too, and it has Halle Berry in it, and it's an Oprah movie, so you might enjoy that if you enjoy this time period and the literature from it. So you have a mini essay assignment due next week, October 13th. That is during fall break, just so you're aware, but you can go ahead and submit that Sunday. So I want you to you're writing a 500 to 1,000 word essay, so it's not crazy. It's like a little bit more than a discussion forum, I suppose. But I want you guys analyzing the statement from W.E.B. Du Bois from The Souls of Black Folk, and I want you to use his statement to analyze Zora Neale Hurston's story and also Langston Hughes's poetry. Okay, so make sure that you do still use parenthetical citations. So if you use quotes from the poem or from Hurston, that you're citing it parenthetically, but you do not have to have a works cited page, okay? Because we know what works you guys are using, okay? So if you're citing Hughes and you're citing his poetry, in the parentheses, go ahead and put the poem and the line number. And then if you're citing Hurston, you can just say Hurston and page number. Okay, so that's what you'll do for that essay. It's informal, but it still needs to be in Microsoft Word file that you submit, okay? And that is let me see what that grade is worth. It is an informal essay, so it's not going to be worth as much as the others, and it follows in your coursework grading instead of in Essay 1 or Essay 2. And yeah, it's a 100-point grade though, so definitely make sure that you do a good job with that. So what I'm looking for is a clear introduction and thesis statement in that. I'm looking for very clear examples with analysis from the poetry and from Hurston's excerpt. And of course, a conclusion. So a nice, tight, well-written essay, okay, one that you've thought out, but it doesn't have to be as in-depth with outside research and things like that. So it's just an analysis essay. So I don't want you to stress out about it too much. I do want you to put the work in for the 100-point essay grade, okay? And that's what we're doing for the next 2 weeks. So we're living in the Harlem Renaissance. You got a short work week of reading, because poetry doesn't take super long time to read. However, make sure you're analyzing that poetry. That's super important. And your forum this week and your essay next week. And what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and open up both weeks for you guys so you can have the reading and you can kind of prepare for the essay and you can work at your pace to get that submitted by next Sunday. Feel free to use NetTutor if you want your essay revised. Just be advised that NetTutor has been taking a little bit longer getting papers back. So normally it's like the 24 to 48 hours, but it's been taking like 3 or 4 days. So just be aware of that. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email, and I intend on grading your essay number 1 sometime this week. So I'm hoping to have that done by the end of the week for y'all. And I can address any questions you have about that as well. Just shoot me an email. Have a great week. Enjoy the reading. This is one of my favorite time periods in American literature, so I hope you like it.